Tonight was a dream game for Kent Hughes as we head near the trade deadline, as Dadonov pots two, Hoffman pots a goal, Anderson even scores, Kirby Dach looks great as a center. This game was an awesome win for us Habs fans as we move towards the trade deadline, and I'll be breaking it all down on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, and just a heads up for those of you who are wondering where Jesse might be, he's currently on vacation. He should be back within about a week, so keep an eye out for him. I'll keep you guys updated as soon as he's back, but send your well wishes for him. He's having a super fun vacation. He'll be back soon. And quickly before we get into the video, quick reminder to subscribe and like the video. Please do it now. Thank you very much. Okay, so this game was, again, Team Tank fans, of which, you know, I'm a member. But again, on a night like tonight, in a tank here, you like these close losses where the boys play well. But another great thing for a team that is in rebuild mode is when the veterans, the guys who you're looking to eventually maybe ship out to get some prospects or assets back, when those guys have good games, that helps your team immensely too. And tonight, we witnessed it firsthand. You know, it's kind of funny because the game started off in the first period. Of course, the first period ended 0-0. And I have some notes written down, some criticisms of Josh Anderson and Evgeny Dadonov. Dadonov just seemingly not willing to shoot the puck, really making some mistakes, some bad turnovers. Anderson can't handle the puck except when he's skating in a straight line. It was just a weird first period. Yeah, we were out shooting Winnipeg, but ultimately there wasn't a whole lot going on. Montembeault was solid, of course, no goals allowed in the first. But I had some more criticisms than positives coming out of the first, I think, but the second period changed my mind. Not right away, though, because Kyle Connor opened the scoring in the second fairly early with a goal. And sure, Kyle Connor is one of the best goal scorers in the league. And if you ask me, I would say he's a true superstar in this league. Go look at his stats, watch him play. This guy demands a lot of attention, so respect to him. And he seems like a fairly nice player as well. So give him the props that he deserves. But after that goal, Montreal came steaming back. Everyone came steaming back. Especially Sam Montembeault, by the way. That was the only goal he gave up again tonight. And it was just another night where his save percentage was above .950. This guy has been bonkers. 5 straight games played for him. And in each start, he has been literally just elite goaltender in those 5 starts. So shout out to Sam Montembeault. Shout out to Dikembe. Check out this graphic that I pulled from the game. In the last week, January 9th to 15th, he had 150 saves. No other goalie in the NHL had more than 100 saves, and over that span he had a .943 save percentage, saving 150 of 159 shots. So big shout out to him. I needed to mention that right off the bat, but the bulk of this video is going to be talking about the guys that everyone wants to see traded, the guys that really lit it up tonight for Montreal, that gave that depth scoring that we thought we would have coming into the season. I knew the roster wasn't great, but I was like, at least we have solid third and fourth lines, as Montreal usually does. But to start this season, it's been terrible down there, almost no depth scoring. But tonight we switched it up. Kirby Dach again centering a line for the second straight game, centering his own line with Josh Anderson on it tonight. And I gotta say, it was Anderson, Hoffman, and Dach, and I gotta say, Dach as a center feels like it needs to stay. This guy is a master at creating plays and creating opportunities, not just from his passes, but from his ability to skate, maneuver around the offensive zone, and keep plays alive. He is insane at doing that, and it led to some great goals tonight. So, we were down 1-0 after that Kyle Connor nice shot, whatever. But then a few minutes later, with about 12 minutes left in the second period, Montreal had this shift. And I can only describe it as like nuclear. It was nuts. Everything was just blowing up left and right. We were shooting it on the net. We were diving for the puck, keeping the play alive. Everyone was in the play, fighting for it. Dadonov had 2 amazing chances. And just as soon as I said, Dadonov can't capitalize again, who else but Evgeny Dadonov gets a beautiful one-timer from the right hash mark, right past Connor Hellebuyck. It might have hit Hellebuyck's side and went in. Regardless, it was a great slap shot. Dadonov is on the board and the game is tied, and the Bell Center, which had seemed a little emptier and quieter than usual, was reinvigorated. It was Dadonov, only his 3rd goal of the season, and the team is right back in it, right? And just a little bit after that, after not being able to bury those shots, he gets that, we get a break. It was just a couple minutes later, Kirby Dach kind of gets just past the blue line, gets pinned up against the boards, but as he gets hit, it was just a little drop pass to Mike Hoffman to keep the play alive. Like I said, along the boards, gets hit, keeps the play alive to Hoffman, who pots one of the nicest shots I've seen all season from not just a Hab, just around the NHL. right from around the circle, again, in the same, roughly the same spot Dadonov shot from, except for a bit higher. On the break, just a perfect wrister past Connor Hellebuyck, right into the top corner. I don't think there was any space. There's nothing Hellebuyck could have done. It was one of the most perfect snapshots I've ever seen as Hoffman puts us up 2-1. And at this point, I already knew what this thumbnail was going to be, what the title was going to be. Just one Dadonov and Hoffman goal was enough for me, because seeing these guys score, not to mention in a building that was filled with scouts from other teams, again, as we approach this trade deadline coming up in just over a month, they saw the true potential of these guys. Dadonov was kind of scrappy. He had a bad first period, but he was scrappy and got some chances later. Hoffman showed off that beautiful release, and really, we got to prop up Kirby Dach, who was creating these chances. It was just a Kent Hughes dream of a game. Because not much after that Hoffman goal, later in the second period, we had another scramble in front. It was a weird play by Winnipeg. Someone went down. I'm not sure who it was, just outside the blue line. Led to a bit of a 5-on-4 for Montreal. A bit of confusion for the Winnipeg defense as we launch a shot as Savard kind of cuts into the slot, loses the puck a bit. I think it might have been Hoffman that shot or someone shot. But guess who was there to clean up the rebound with no one checking him because Winnipeg was confused on defense? It's just Dadonov, wide open there, and he pots one of the easier goals of his career for his 4th of the season, 2nd of the night, and at this point, I'm just yelling, Kent Hughes dream, baby, because he's like, look at that, scouts, look at what these guys can truly do. You know you want these guys on your playoff roster, right? They're worth at least some draft picks, maybe a young player, who knows? And I'm just super happy, because even though we're winning the game 3-1 at this point, and I'm Team Tank, seeing these guys do well is probably maybe better for us having this kind of game now. Again, they'll need consistent performances. It's not like one game is going to make teams overpay for these guys. Let's not get that confused. But seeing the ability for these guys to do this, especially with different line mates, is exactly what we want to see. With Dadonov playing on a really weird line, like we were kind of shifting people all over tonight because we were playing with 7D, so it was, I think, Harvey Pinard and Pitlick, just kind of the straggling wingers. They were playing a bit with Dadonov, and Dadonov there with Dvorak, and it was just kind of a mishmash of different players. But he was able to capitalize on his opportunities, and he got ample ice time to show for it. And, like, later in that period, too, one thing I wanted to mention, because it was Cole Caufield bobblehead night, right? Everyone wanted to see Cole Caufield score a goal, or at least make some insane plays. And insane plays he did make. There was one play in the second period. So we're in the offensive zone. He's on, I guess if you're looking at the net on the left side, he's on the far side of the screen. He sees a player coming up to check him. He kind of just puts the puck behind him. His back is to the boards. He takes it on his right-handed stick, backhands it behind himself to the other side to lose the defender and keep possession of the puck. One of the most insane self-passes I've ever seen. But more Cole Caufield news later in the second period as he's going up to try and tip the puck away from Josh Morrissey. He gets his skate tangled up and Morrissey goes down. It's a tripping call. Why am I talking about this? Winnipeg didn't score on the power play that ended up going into the third period. Well, that's because it was Cole Caufield's first penalty minutes of the season. Fun fact, he had a bet going with Christian Dvorak to see who would get the first penalty that led to the other team having a power play this season. And even though Christian Dvorak has taken 2 minors this season, both times it was an offsetting minor, so it led to 4-on-4 hockey. This was the first time that either Dvorak or Caufield has gotten a penalty that led to the other team getting a power play. So that's just a little fun tidbit for you. I saw a joking tweet from Marco D'Amico saying, "Oh, there goes the Lady Bing. He got 2 penalty minutes. It's over. The dream is dead." No, but regardless, Caufield doesn't get penalties. It was extremely unlucky. Both their skates went the wrong way at the wrong time, and Morrissey went down. It is a trip, but there's not much you can do. But then the third period again, there's really not much to mention in that third period because it was Montreal shutting Winnipeg down, Montembeault being outstanding, who I've already talked too much about. But the one thing I did want to talk about is again Kirby Dach, and a bit of Mike Matheson, who I haven't mentioned yet in this video, but he made his return tonight, and I thought he looked solid, kind of the same as what we saw him before. I mean, not an insanely great defensive player, though we did have a couple good defensive plays, but he is a smooth, fast skater, and he created the 4th goal for Montreal, taking it from his own net all the way up the left boards, gets into the offensive zone. Pionk kind of checks him with it, but he takes Pionk with him. He's following through. He's like, hey, if you're going to stop me, I'm going to run into you and take you out of the play. Kirby Dach is able to get there, get that loose puck, go around the net, almost scoring a wraparound on Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck makes a good save, but Josh Anderson, the power horse, is there to clean up the mess. The other guy I criticized in the first period, and another guy that we may be looking to ship out, if not at the deadline, maybe this offseason, maybe next year. Another guy who's upping a bit of his trade value. He has had massive struggles on the power play, massive point struggles since we've signed him. But playing with Kirby Dach tonight, he looked quite good. And really anyone that we've seen playing on Kirby Dach's wing has been amazing. Dach picks up his second assist of the night on the Anderson goal. Everything was going right for that line tonight. Hoffman, Dach, and Anderson. And another guy I actually wanted to mention real quick that I haven't mentioned. We've got to the end of the game. After that, Winnipeg didn't pull the goalie. Monty made some amazing saves, including one where he was on his stomach flailing his arms. But the rest of the third was pretty locked down. Montreal got some shots, Winnipeg got some shots, and the final score was 4-1. Some other notable things. Justin Barron. Justin Barron flew his parents into this game, and he had 2 assists tonight. 2 assists. He had an assist on, I think, the first Dadonov goal, and I believe maybe the Hoffman goal. I believe he's the one that sprung Kirby Dach on the Hoffman goal. So he had 2 back-to-back assists for his first 2 points of the season, which was awesome. And Michael Pezzetta, a guy who had a good scoring chance in this game, though he gets stopped by Hellebuck, he had 10 hits tonight. 10 hits. That's the most by a Hab all season long. He played with a lot of energy, as we're used to, right? He was, again, mostly on that weird third line with, like, Dadonov, but, like, it's just weird, because him, Harvey Pinard, and Pitlick were all kind of strange, of course, with Evans, and Slavkovsky, and Monahan, and Gallagher, and Drouin, all on the IR. These guys had to step in, and Pezzetta really made his presence known. And the final thing, the end of the game, Arber Xhekaj drops the mitts with Adam Lowry. Like, what else could you ask for, right? A game where it's 4-1 for Montreal against the Central Division leaders in Winnipeg. We made them look like chumps with our roster. We were rolling tonight. We rolled through them like they were nothing. We finally outshot a team, too. And at the end of the game, Arber Xhekaj wins the fight. Now, this wasn't his most entertaining fight of the year. He didn't really land any massive punches. Lowry didn't either. They swung a lot. It was fun to watch, and it ended with Arber Xhekaj slamming Lowry into the ground. His sort of signature move, that slam at the end of a fight to say, hey, look who's really on top here. He grabbed his chest, flexed the Habs logo as he walked off to the locker room to really seal this beautiful night at the Bell Center. But that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. We love your guys' support, and we hope it continues into the future. I'm Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next video.